Well, hello, this is Kendall from Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate. If you're watching this video, chances are you live in the Palm Coast Saltwater Canal section and are receiving my uh, bi-monthly update of what's happening with sales in the community. And you'll notice in my cover letter that I gave you the link to watch this video. So anyway, I wanted to do it because I think that there are some important trends that I'm seeing happening that affect the marketability and price value of your home. So I just prepared this quick video to give you that additional information that really wouldn't fit inside my newsletter. So I'm going to start with the fact that I just got back from the National Association of Realtors convention, and our chief economist, in giving his state of the economy on a national level, said that the easy price gains that we've enjoyed over the past few years is over for the foreseeable future. He is not predicting a bubble where there's going to be a massive collapse of the real estate market like occurred 10 years ago. But he does definitely see a leveling off, and there may, in fact, in certain markets, be some give back. So I wanted to take a closer look at exactly what was happening here in the canal section and how it might be affecting you and my other customers. So the first thing I want to show you is the percentage of the homes that are selling and what current inventory is looking like. And I'm going to start you here on this chart at the bottom. What we're looking down here is a summary of activity in the canal section in 2017. There were 146 homes that sold. There were 21 that expired without selling. And there were another 39 that were on the market but hadn't sold. So in 2017, 71% of the people who put their homes on the market successfully sold their home. And we were seeing an average of 12 sales per month. Now, if we move up to the top and we look at the last 12 months of activity, what we see is that there were 132 homes sold, 24 expired without selling, and the inventory had grown really to 65, 54 listings and 11 pending contracts. So the odds of selling, or the percentage of people that did successfully sell their home, dropped from 71% to 60%. And now if we just look at 2018, I'm preparing this video in the first week in December, so we only have 11 months worth of data for 2018. But that, again, dropped. We saw so far year to date, we've had 120 homes sold since January 1st. The number of homes selling is down below 11. The percentage of homeowners who are successfully selling their homes have dropped to 58%. And our inventory is up to 6 months of supply. Now, 6 months of supply, most economists, including Lawrence Yun, who you saw in the previous slide, will tell you that that's about a balanced market. But as we start to see inventory climb above that number, it becomes a buyer's advantage market. Next thing I want to show you is the time that it takes to actually sell most homes. So here we're looking at this year to date. This is very small, I apologize, but I'll tell you what it says, is that the median time on market, which is where this red line occurs, is 75 days. So half of the homes are going under contract in less than 75, and half are going under contract in more than 75 days. And you can see when we get out past 100, which is right here, the odds of selling your home drop dramatically. And so it really is important that if you do decide that you want to market your home sometime in the near future, that you price it aggressively so that you get a contract pretty quickly. The next thing that I want to show you is the seasonality that affects our market. And here in the canal section, we don't really have too much seasonality. So what we're looking at here across the bottom are the months of the year, and each one of these green diamonds represents a sale that occurred. You can see the price range of the sale and when it occurred. And what you'll notice is inside this blue box the activity is pretty consistent across the board. Where we do see seasonality in our market is at the end of December and the beginning of January. And that's typically because people are caught up with holidays. And so they delay putting their homes on the market, or they delay looking for a home during that period. Here's 2018. Again, we don't know what's going to happen at the end of the year, but we saw at the beginning of the year a little softening in the market for the same seasonality reasons. So here's a look at all the sales that have occurred in the last 6 months in the canal section. On the vertical axis here, we have price, and on the horizontal axis, we have the size of the home. You can see there is a very definite correlation between the number of living square foot in your home and the price that you're likely to get for that. So if you wanted to get a ballpark of the value of your home, you could very easily, if you had a 2,000 square foot house, come here, go up to the trend line, and then come across, and you'll see you're around $380,000. Now, you'll also notice that homes have sold both above and below that trend line. Here we had a home, a 2,000 square foot home that sold for over $500,000, and here we had a 2,200 square foot home that sold for under $280,000. So why does that happen? Well, there's a number of factors. Condition obviously is one. Setting in the canals, corner lot versus a tip lot versus an interior lot, the width of your lot, whether or not there's a boat dock, whether or not there's a pool, access to the intracoastal, whether or not you're in sailboat country or not. All those factors will contribute to whether or not a home would actually fall above or below the trend line. But it does sort of give you a good overview of what's happening in the marketplace. We're looking basically at the same data here, except in this case, all of these green triangles represent homes that are currently on the market. They're for sale today, and we're representing asking prices, not sold prices. The sold prices typically will be lower than that, assuming that the properties are appropriately priced. Most of these homes will close 5% below that. The yellow diamonds represent homes that are currently under contract. Again, those are list prices. We won't actually know the sales price until it closes. But I like to show this because it's really your competition. Selling your home is a competition. If your neighbor across the street puts their home on the market at the same time you do, they become what I refer to as a frenemy, because you're both competing over the same pool of prospective buyers. So why are we seeing this leveling off? I think there's a couple things that are worth noting. One is that we're seeing increasing inventory. You may remember back I'll actually go back to it for you to see it on this slide. At the end of 2017, we only had 39 saltwater canal homes on the market. Today we have 65. So that increasing inventory means more choice for buyers. And what we've been seeing over the last few months is that new listings coming onto the market have been outpacing sales by about a 2-to-1 margin. I mentioned the seasonality that we have in the marketplace in terms of a lack of activity. The lack of activity is both on the buyer and seller side. So typically in January, we will see a spurt of new homes that all come on the market at once. So I'm anticipating that this January will be just like any other January, which again is going to increase the buyer's options. The next, many of you may not be aware, but FEMA changed the flood maps for Palm Coast this summer. Those new maps took effect in July of this year. And most of the homes in the canal section were always in a preferred flood zone called an X zone. When the new flood maps came out, that actually changed, and now, even though your home is, most of the homes in the canal section are 18 feet above sea level, and even though that hasn't changed, the flood maps have been adjusted and actually come up onto your property above your seawalls. In fact, if you were to look closely at the line, it very much resembles where the water levels were during Hurricane Matthew. So it's actually not surprising they did that. Now that has no immediate effect on you. If you carry flood insurance, you'll be able to continue to carry your flood insurance at your existing rates. And if you have a mortgage, your lender's not going to require you to purchase flood insurance. But when you go to sell your home, if the buyer has intends to finance the purchase of their property, they are going to be required now to purchase flood insurance for the home, which is going to make the home more expensive for your purchaser. And then the last thing is rising interest rates. Now, my first home, when I purchased it, my interest rate was 14.5%. So we are still at historically low interest rates, but as interest rates do rise, it reduces the buying power for the prospective buyers for your home. Interestingly, in the short run, rising interest rates can be a catalyst for sales activity because buyers want to hurry up and lock in rates and purchase their home. But in the long run, it tends to be a negative for the market. So the bottom line is, if you are happy living in your home and you plan on staying there for another 5 years or so or longer, none of this data, other than being interesting, would really be particularly important to me. Just enjoy the beautiful setting that you live in and all that Palm Coast has to offer. But if you're somebody who is considering selling your home in the next year to 2 years, I would argue that there really is no advantage. In fact, there may be some disadvantages to waiting. If any of you would like me to consult with you and give you more of an indication of the value of your specific home, I would be happy to do that. And I'm going to just show you my contact information. It's on the newsletter that you get, but you can reach me at my cell phone at 386-986-7091, or you can email me at kendall@bhgsynergy.com. Anyway, I hope you found this brief summary of information helpful. If you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out to me at any time, and I hope you're doing well. Bye for now.